Hello. So here is the video that I'm going to be making that pertains to writing introduction paragraphs and conclusion paragraphs. Please note that this is not the same thing as a body paragraph. These are the paragraph that relates to your that introduces your topic, that introduces your paper, and your conclusion is a paragraph that concludes your essay. So it doesn't follow the same setup as the other as body paragraphs. We've got a topic sentence body and all that stuff. Like there is not a topic sentence, there is no evidence, there's no commentary in an introduction or conclusion paragraph. So let's take a look at why we're even discussing intros and conclusions. Well, I mean, it's important to note that this is in the rubric. So in the rubric, which is in your chartreuse packet on the very last page, it identifies that two areas that you are going to be assessed is on your introduction paragraph and your conclusion paragraph. So if you take a look, if you are looking to exceed standards, which is here for an introduction, it needs to be engaging, right? So your first paragraph needs to grab the attention of the reader. Um, you also need to provide and make sure that if there's like any information, logically and fluidly moves to the thesis. So it's not something that's off topic. Like I can write anything that's an introduction that grabs your attention, like, oh my God, look behind you, or I have six fingers on one hand. Those are two definite ways that will catch my attention, but they don't have anything to do with the topic at hand, which is um, community and what they should do for the environment. And notice how the introduction assessment also identifies that the thesis statement is located there, so it's at the end of your introduction. So if you're looking at your conclusion paragraph, what you want if you want to exceed standards, what you are going to do is you're going to extend, enrich, and comment on key themes or ideas from the paper. So that seems kind of like pretty vague, but that's exactly what this paragraph or what this video is all about. So don't poop your pants, everybody. We're going to talk about it. But ultimately, you want to make sure that your introduction and your conclusion meets the standards, at least meets standards on for this paper. Now, when I talk about introductions, students oftentimes say like, "Oh yeah, I know what I'm doing." And I would say generally they do, but sometimes they don't. So it's kind of like the same thing with transitions, where we kind of assume that we know what a transition does, but are not realizing that it's more complicated than that. So, a introduction does three things. One, it provides context for your argument. So it sometimes provides some detail that might be needed for your essay. It might identify some important background for a topic. It also attracts the audience's attention, so it encourages them to keep reading. And the last thing it does is it encourages the reader it prepares the reader for your thesis. So your introduction, you want to make sure that it does all of these things. Not one of them, all of them. Provide context if necessary, make sure that they are encouraged to keep reading, and by the end of by the end of your introduction, I should have a clear understanding of your thesis. So, if it doesn't do these things, it's considered ineffective, and we don't want that. We want your thesis. We want your introduction to be effective. Okay?